happy Sunday. Welcome to my 12 days of Christmas. Today again is Sunday, January the 5th. It's 1 p.m. in the afternoon and I'm in the middle of a blizzard. Actually it's not so bad. The wind is blowing, the snow is blowing. It's not as bad as it was yesterday with all the ice that we got, but it's definitely a wintry day out there, and I'm so grateful to be in here with all of you. The one thing that I've really enjoyed while I've been working down in my studio today is watching the birds. I don't think they're affected by this weather. I got a new bird feeder for Christmas, and I made sure I got it out yesterday morning before all the weather came in, filled it up with lots of bird seed, and they really have been taking advantage of it. So I have seen hordes of birds outside my window, which has been a lot of fun, and they just don't seem to be affected by all of this weather. Anyway, today is day 12 of my 12 days of Christmas. Today is the last day. Can you believe it? I've had so much fun, and we're gonna play today with what's in our package for the day 12. I'm kind of creating on the fly with you guys. So I have an idea in mind, and my package is gonna help. So if you haven't opened up your package for day 12, grab it and let's open it up together. Out. They're dimensionals, Stampin' Dimensionals, but the difference with these dimensionals is they're black Stampin' Dimensionals. And what's interesting about this particular package is that it is an assortment. So you get large dimensionals and you get the mini dimensionals. So why would you need black dimensionals? Well, there's a lot of good reasons why, but when you're working on a project and you're working with dark cardstock, you might not want that white dimensional peeping through, so you would use a black dimensional. And so I've got a project today that we're going to do using the Terrific Toadstool stamp set. You've seen me pop this out before, I believe, but we are going to create a card with the Terrific Toadstools. This stamp set is actually in the new MIDI catalog. It is paired with the Toadstool Gardens DSP, and so I'm going to be utilizing the Toadstool Gardens DSP as well. This DSP is part of Celebration. All of this begins on January the 7th. 2 more days. So exciting. So I've tried really hard during my 12 days of Christmas to give you guys sneak peeks of what's coming. But today I'm going to utilize not only the stamp set, but the DSP. And on the back side of the DSP, you've got all kinds of designs as well. But I was really drawn to this one. So let me show you what we're going to do. I'm going to create a card with Early Espresso. And I'm gonna put this piece of Designer Series paper on top of it. But now what I need are some toadstools. What I'm gonna do with the toadstools is I'm actually going to emboss them on Early Espresso. But I wanna keep them dark. So this is gonna be a lot of fun. Let me see, I might need to come in just a little bit closer for you guys, just so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna try not to make you too dizzy. But I'm gonna bring in the Versamark, and I'm going to start stamping these toadstools in Versamark across my, let me bring in my mat. That would be helpful. So I'm gonna bring in my mat since I'm working with a photopolymer stamp. Make sure I get this inked up well. And I'm just gonna stamp. And you can see where I've stamped. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next one. I'm gonna stamp it. I've got another one, actually another one with a little stem here. Let me get this. Okay, and then I've got a bigger stem for the big mushroom, or toadstool, I should say. So I'm gonna stamp it right here. And then I have a smaller stem that we're gonna stamp. Make sure I get it coated really well. And I'm gonna stamp it right here. Okay, so we've got these all stamped. I will clean my stamps here in just a second. I'm not really worried about the Versamark, but I do need to get them cleaned. But what I am going to do right now is I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Up! Clear embossing powder. And we're going to emboss all of these. So let me open this up. And I think my spoon is in here. Let me pull this out. Pick this up. I want you guys to be able to see. And I'm basically going to take the embossing powder over what I stamped so you can kind of see how that turns white. This is the clear embossing powder. This is fun because normally when I'm putting embossing powder on, you can maybe see the embossing powder because it's white or whatever, but this will really make a difference once we emboss it, and you'll see what happens. Whereas normally I'm like, can you see it turning? Can you see it turning? I didn't use my embossing buddy on this. I probably should have because I can see embossing powder hanging along on the cardstock. Maybe you can see it as well. But the reason that I'm not is because I'm going to be either punching or fussy cutting these out, so I'm not too worried about it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my embossing gun in, and it's going to be a little loud, but I'm going to bring it in so that you can see what's going on. I'm also checking to see if you guys are live with me. Please do say hello. I just switched over so I could see comments if you guys have any comments. But let me get this heated up, and we're going to start to emboss. And watch what happens when it starts to turn. Can you see that? This is so fun. Hi, Connie. Thank you for saying hello. Whoops. The last one. Hi, Jana. Happy New Year. All right, guys. Wasn't that fun? That's what clear embossing powder will do on your solid dark cardstocks, okay? So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to bring in the punch that's part of the bundle for this. It's the Terrific Toadstool Punch Bundle, so it goes with the stamp set. And I'm going to start to punch out these pieces. So I'm going to turn this around to get it lined up. I may have to do some finagling to get it fit in correctly, but I'm looking at this. I'm going to line it up, and then I'm just going to punch. And we'll get this one lined up, and punch. Whoops, it's going crazy on me. All right, the little one doesn't have a punch, but I do have a punch for this stem. So let me see if I need to do anything. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut this down. I'm gonna bring out my snips. I can't get it far enough into the punch to punch that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and trim that down so that I can get this lined up appropriately. And then I can get this lined up and I can punch. Now, scared you guys, didn't I? I don't want to punch those pieces, so I have to cut those off. And now I'm gonna try to line this up. Let me see, I don't know if I have any paper or not. I was gonna look to see if I had like some Post-it note paper so that I could use it to help me get this lined up. And it doesn't appear that I have any. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull this back out because now I've got it stuck in there. And I'm gonna take this end and I'm just gonna put a dab of glue on it. Or not even a dab of glue, I'm just gonna put some seal on it. I just need a little bit to be able to hold this in place so that I've got an end to hold on to. So here we go again. Stick this through. Now I can get it lined up without any problems, and I can punch. Okay, did I punch through that? No, I didn't. I did it good. Okay, so now we've got that. So let me see, where are my pieces? I have my 2 mushrooms. I have this one that I just punched out. Okay, we've got that one. And then these are all my scraps. And then these would need to be fussy cut, but I knew that I was gonna have to fussy cut those. So I went ahead and fussy cut those ahead of time so you guys wouldn't have to watch me fussy cut. Okay, so now I have my pieces. Let me get this stuff out of the way. And I'm gonna bring in, excuse me, still fighting my cold. I'm gonna bring in my Designer Series paper. Now the Designer Series paper, I want to put a mound on, and I also want to put popping up to say hi. But I want that to be on my Designer Series paper. I don't want to do tags or anything. So I'm going to bring in my stamp positioning tool. Stampin' Up! Used to have one. We do not have one at this time, so you can use whatever stamp positioning tool you want. I like using a stamp positioning tool, and you'll see why here in just a second. But I want to be able to hold my paper in place while I'm stamping, and not only hold it in place while I'm stamping, but I want to make sure I get a good dark stamp, so I may have to stamp this 2 or 3 times. This one is called the Misty, and it's from My Sweet Petunia. All right, so here's my early espresso ink. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stamp on my stamp. I'm gonna bring them over, and then I've got just a little tool that I can use to kind of help me make sure I get good coverage. And then you'll see when this comes up, it's not bad, not quite dark enough, but I'm gonna give it another round, and then we'll see where we're at. But I'm not done with it even after this. All right, so try this again. My popping up is looking good. I feel like I need a little bit more on my mound, at least down here at the bottom. So we're gonna do the mound again. Okay, now my mound is dark enough. I'm not moving this, I'm leaving it here. We are going to do some embossing, but my Early Espresso Stampin' Pad is not necessarily the best for embossing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my chamois and I'm gonna clean off my stamp. Get it all cleaned off. I love the chamois because I can just take it right to the stamp, get everything cleaned off. And I haven't moved anything. The stamps are in the same place. The Designer Series paper's in the same place. So what I wanna do is I wanna make sure this is nice and dry. And I am gonna bring my Versamark back in, and I'm gonna stamp it again. Only this time I'm stamping it with the Versamark on top. It's gonna line right up. And now what I can do is I can pull this out, move this out of the way, bring my embossing powder back in, and I'm going to emboss here. So embossing powder there, embossing powder there. Make sure I got good coverage. Okay, so now it's coated in embossing powder. So what we'll do is I'm gonna close this up, and I will bring the embossing gun back in again. Heat it up. Can you see it turning? Look how dark that is. I love that. I'm gonna do the same thing down here. Perfect. Okay, now we've got this all nice and dark. And I don't know if you can see the shine on it or not. I'm looking to see if, I don't think I need to do any more. I'm gonna hit this one spot. It looks like it turned, but I'm just gonna hit it again to be on the safe side. There was a little dull area to it, and that dull area told me that it wasn't quite done cooking, if you will. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring my cardstock in, and I'm gonna use my glue to get this adhered. Make sure my glue's a little thick there, I think. All right, let's try this again. Whoop, it really popped out, okay. I don't need a ton of glue, but I want to make sure I have enough because I did emboss on this, so it's a little warped. So I've got my card going the right direction. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this down and get it centered where I want it. Make sure it's laying flat. Had a little warping, if you will. So that's the front of this. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring these pieces back in. And what I don't want, because I've worked so hard to make sure everything's dark, that if I put white dimensionals underneath here, that white is gonna stick out like a sore thumb. So this project especially needs dimensionals on it that are dark. So what I can do then is I can bring in my black dimensionals, and I'm going to find my tweezers here, and I'm just gonna start placing black dimensionals down. And the nice part about it is I know where I'm putting them because I can see the backing on it, which will make it really easy when I take the backing off because I'll be able to tell if it's off or not. But those are the big ones. Will this take a big one? This would probably take a big one. The rest of these, I think, maybe I'm trying to decide. This one's gonna take, I can get a big one here, but I'm gonna have to do some little ones on these little pieces. So I'll do one here and one here. Okay, and then I've got this little stem. So I'm gonna put one on this little stem. Hopefully I can get it to fit. If it doesn't fit exactly, you're not gonna be able to tell very much because it's black. And then I've got one here, and I think I'm gonna have to do like a little sliver of one right about there. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my dimensionals, and I'm just gonna cut off a little sliver and put this down. Let's see if I can get it lined up correctly. Probably right about there. All right, so now I'm gonna start to build this. So we're gonna start with the big one, and I'm going to start to line these up. Probably he's gonna go right about here. Okay, so let me get him off first. And see, you can't hardly even see that there's dimensionals on them, which is amazing and great for a project like this. So let me just tuck this down, and then this little guy is gonna tuck underneath here, right about there. So we've got our first mushroom down. And then I think, let me see, should I do my little guy first? Let's go ahead and do him. And he's gonna go down here. And we'll put him right about there, I believe. And then we've got this guy, and I'm gonna put him probably right here. And I'm sticking, I've got glue on my hands from previously. And let's see, let's put him here. And then I'm gonna tuck him under. And there you go. Let me clean this all out of the way. But what a fun card. Who said toadstools have to be bright and cheery? Not that this isn't, but it just is a fun, I don't know, monochromatic type of card that I've used the dark, the early espresso on. Can you see the detail in the mushrooms? I just stamped with clear embossing powder, so I was able to do it on the early espresso. And then if I turn it sideways, both ways, you can't see any white popping through. That's the beauty of the black dimensionals. So I wanted to create a card that just basically shared with you what black dimensionals do. You see us use a lot of white, but the black are a fun one to have in your repertoire as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day as far as the 12 days of Christmas. I've had so much fun, but I do want to tell you about some things that are coming up. So let me move this little card out of the way. And I want to bring in what's happening, like what? Tomorrow's Monday, so Tuesday, our new mini catalog goes live. I've been sharing things out of the mini catalog. So fun. I can't wait for you guys to be able to get your hands on it and look through it. And also Celebration goes live as well. So when you have a qualifying order of $60 or more, you can select anything from the Celebration brochure for free. So please do take time to take a look at that. And I just wanted to let you guys know that I am leaving on Thursday for Hawaii. And because I'm leaving on Thursday for Hawaii, I'm not going to be with you guys live for a few weeks. I'm going to be there through I think the 2nd or 3rd of February. So I'm not going to be with you live, but I am going to be recording up some videos for you guys to be able to watch. I've got some fun things planned for you. But I did want you to know that I wished that you were here with me. So what I've done is I've put together a Wish You Were Here ordering special. When you order $50 or more from my online store between January 7th and the end of January, you're going to receive 24 6x6 sheets of DSP, a package of retired embellishments, 5 handmade cards, and some of those handmade cards might have come from my 12 Days of Christmas. And then I'm going to bring you back something special from Hawaii. So in your package, because I'll ship it to you after I get back from Hawaii, you'll place your order anywhere between the 7th and the 31st. When I get back, I will put my packages together and include my something special from Hawaii in that package. And then, of course, if you double your order, I'll just double your DSP and your handmade cards. So I hope you have a great time looking through the new catalog and the new celebration flyer. And I will see you guys on the other side after I'm back from Hawaii. Thank you so much for joining me for my 12 Days of Christmas. I've had a blast, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.